Hey everyone, welcome to Middle Life DIY. Today we're going to mix it up a bit and see how it goes to mix honey melt and pour soap base with oatmeal melt and pour soap base. See if we can make that delectable, amazing honey oatmeal soap. We're going to mix it two ways. We're going to pre-pour a bar of honey and then add a second sort of decadent layer of oatmeal. And we're also going to try mixing the two soap bases together and melt them up together into an amazing blend. So join me, if you will, for some DIY soap making today that is beginner friendly. Our oatmeal honey soap blend, we've got our big bar of the soap base. So this is the oatmeal melt and pour soap base. It comes in a 5.2 pound brick. I have had some really great experience with this particular company. I buy them off of Amazon. Oftentimes when I order, I can either have my bar of soap base the next day or within 4 days. The price of the oatmeal is a little bit more. I think it was $42 Canadian for 5.2 pounds, but don't kid yourself, this will create a lot of soap. So that's where I get both my honey and my oatmeal soap base. Here's the honey one. We've already dipped into the honey one a little bit. So there's our soap base. And we'll be putting our soap in this cute little silicone shaped silicone holder, or we'll make our individual bars with that. Pardon me, just had a total moment where I went blank there. So this is where you make individual bars, and you can use these cute little small ones if you want to make longer bars that you would slice into small slices of soap. So we're going to try both ways. I have a few different things I want to try with this soap and oatmeal, or this oatmeal and honey blending that we're going to do. Importantly, we have our soap melter, as always. When we use our melter, we want to try and use that low setting more often than not. Avoid our soap burning. We know that the honey soap loves to burn, so there's that. I am going to put some lavender flower buds into this soap. I'm just going to gently sprinkle a few. So this is dried out lavender. And to give us that beautiful scent, I'm going to just lightly scent our soap with rosemary and lavender essential oil. So I've got those on hand, ready to go. I'm choosing not to color my soap today, so we will not be using mica, but you're welcome to if you prefer that. And once we've got our soap made, we're going to use our soap cutter as always. We have our two different choices for how we want to cut our slices. And there you have it. That's the equipment we need and we'll be using today. We're going to melt just the honey, a small portion of the honey melt and pour soap base first. I've just got this on low and we're making sure it doesn't come to a boil. Just sort of gently get this melted. And then we're going to fill the bottom of our silicone soap molds with just the honey in the bottom. I'm hoping that these beautiful designs will be covered with that gorgeous amber honey in the bottom. And then after that we're going to melt up our oatmeal melt and pour, and we're going to cover, so it'll be like a double layered soap in these soap molds to begin with. So we've got our honey base. It's slowly coming up now. Honey melt and pour soap base is just the chemistry of it. It's a little more testy to deal with. It's a little crankier. It will create kind of a brutal, yucky skin if it comes to a boil too much. So we want to melt it without boiling it too much. So you're going to be on and off with the heat, with low heat only, no higher than low heat. So you're going to be on and off with the heat, just sort of bringing the temperature up so it starts to melt and then letting it cool just slightly so it avoids boiling. And we're also going to minimize the stirring so that we don't disturb it too much and cause bubbles or skin that way. So very delicate balance trying to get this to a boil. Sometimes if you're not careful, it'll kind of become one big solid disc as well, and then it boils underneath. So we're going to kind of try and move it around enough to avoid that happening without overdoing it with moving it around. This is definitely not a craft where you kind of put it in, turn the heat on, and go do a few other things. You really have to stay and be attentive and keep a very close eye on it, because it takes no time at all for this stuff to kind of stick together and turn into one big hockey puck and then super boil underneath. So we're going to let that fully melt, and then we'll excitedly pour it into our soap mold there to be our... What I've decided to do is not add the essential oil to the honey base. I'm going to add it to the oatmeal layer. I think the oatmeal will take that essential oil just a little bit nicer than the honey will. So we'll save that gorgeous lavender rosemary for the oatmeal layer of our little decadent soap bars. Just about there. Okay, it's fully melted now, so what I tend to personally like to do is just unplug my pot so I don't have a cord dangling while I'm trying to pour. Here is the mold that we're going to use, and I'm just going to pour enough onto the base here, just the bottom of our molds. Leaving enough room for our beautiful oatmeal half. I just love this pretty amber honey color. I think some of the fun and some of the charm of our artisan soaps is that when we make these individual bars, every bar is kind of unique. It's sort of got its own amount of each blend. I think that's kind of what gives it character. Almost done. Let me top up a couple. I've got just enough to fill up a couple of these that maybe didn't get quite as much as the others. There we go. Let's see which other one. Let's give it to this one. There we go. Perfect. So now we'll wash out our pot, and then we'll start the oatmeal soap base melting for the oatmeal top layer. Okay, we've cleaned up our melt and pour pot from the honey half of this first batch we're doing, and now I've got the oatmeal soap base here in the melter. There we go. So we're going to melt up this oatmeal, and then we're going to add our rosemary lavender to it once it's melted. Now you want to wait until just before you're about to pour your melted soap before you add the essential oils, just because the essential oil actually will evaporate out of your blend if it has too much time in there. So to preserve as much of the essential oil in your soap, you want to wait until the very last moment to stir it into your melted soap base. In the time it's going to take us for the oatmeal soap base to fully melt, I feel confident that the honey soap base that we've poured into our mold is going to solidify, which will be perfect. So we'll have two distinct bars, color bars within our soap, which will be, I think it's going to be really pretty soap to look at, actually. Really pretty soap. So we're going to apply the same principles for melting the soap. The oatmeal soap base is more tolerant. I would almost recommend, if you're new to soap making for melt and pour, I would either go with a goat's milk soap base or the oatmeal soap base. The chemistry in them is just more tolerant if it comes to a boil a few too many times, or if you need to stir it more. You won't get so much of that foamy skin on top, which looks kind of yucky on your soap itself. So that's my recommendation. Either go with the goat's milk or the oatmeal soap base for your first time melt and pour. The oatmeal soap is just so gentle. I have plans even to make an oatmeal soap for your dogs, like a pet shampoo with the oatmeal soap. It's just that gentle and super nice and gentle and easygoing soap. It's just delightful, and you can see how willing it is to melt down. I have my melting pot on just low. I might just back it off and turn it off for a moment or two here, because it's melting pretty quick on me here. So we just want to prevent it again from coming to a boil, and I also want to prevent it from kind of all turning into one giant hockey puck here in the melter too, so that it doesn't superheat the soap underneath when that happens. So we'll just kind of move it. We don't want to like stir, because that creates more of a foam and a skin on top. So that's why you can see me kind of poking at it. Perfect. You can see the little bits of oatmeal in the soap. So cool. Okay, it's kind of settled down a bit. I'm going to put the melting pot back up to low. Perfect. Cut up some oatmeal soap base and some honey soap base. They are together in our little pot, in our melting pot, which is on low. We're going to bring those up and melt them. I'm just going to put the lid on. Now, while I was doing that, I had a little look at it and thought, gee, I think there's more soap there than will fit in our little silicone form. So I've gone ahead and gotten my 32 ounce form, and we'll use that instead. I'd rather be able to get it all together in one bar than to have to parse it out if we can avoid. So while that's melting, I thought, gee, a different scent would be awfully lovely and sublime as well. So I've gone back to the sweet orange and lemon, which I really, really love. We're just going to gently scent it. We're not going to put any lavender in this one. We'll leave the lavender as a special additive to our little individual soap bar pour that we had earlier. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on this, because we realized previously that the oatmeal soap base definitely wants to boil a lot quicker than the honey soap base, yet the honey kind of likes to burn easier. So we're just going to watch it like a hawk and make sure. So my essential oils, you saw me just pop the lids off that, so they're ready to go. And I'm admiring these beautiful little individual soap bars that we've poured here with the lavender blooms in them. I cannot wait to unmold these and see how gorgeous they are with that lovely amber on the bottom, and then And the cute little honeybee design we've got in the silicone with the lovely amber, and then that nice white base on the back of it. Oh, just so excited, and it smells phenomenal. Oh, yeah, lavender and rosemary is a delicious, delicious blend of soap. Soap smells, all essential oils, so we're keeping it natural. So excited to see what this turns out to be. Now let's have a little peek and see what we've got going on in here. Just do what we can to... Ooh, yeah, look at that. It almost looks like an orange creamsicle. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. This is an amazing blend if you have anyone in your household with dairy allergies. They actually can react to soap with dairy base. So the oatmeal and the honey is a fantastic alternative to the goat's milk. The goat's milk soap is fantastic for people that suffer from eczema. They all kind of have their own little special benefits to them. But yes, this is great. This will be a lovely soap if you suffer from dry skin. Yeah, this is very... Oh, I love that creamsicle color so much. I love when it naturally colors itself. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a ton of fun with the micas and blending and having that pearly shimmer that you can add to your soap with the micas. But you know, when you're talking really natural soap, what's better than just this naturally occurring color? And it is beautiful. This does really... Actually, you know, I think the oatmeal soap base is really helping to prevent the honey from burning at that low heat. I think this has got more benefits to blending them than I anticipated originally. So this is ideal. Love it. I just don't want it to form that hockey puck on the top like we keep talking about. So I'm going to keep bugging it a little bit for a minute here. Oh, that's already become its own little... There we go. Sometimes the orange looks almost like jello in there. Oh, super excited. And I think with this color too, this like creamsicle color, the sweet orange and lemon fragrance is going to go along perfectly with it too. Oh, super exciting. Absolutely love this. Love it, love it, love it. So time to add our sweet orange and lemon essential oil. Trying to do this with a couple hands. There we go. Stir that in. Now I'm going to turn the heat off. And we're back. Okay, so here's our soap already. I'm going to, you guessed it, unplug my pot. Here's our mold, and here we go. What a cool color. Oh, and there's all our oats. See if I can spread them out a little bit here. Perfect, and there we have it. I'm just going to spritz a bit of the rubbing alcohol on the top to get rid of those bubbles. There we have it. So because I've put this into a thicker bar, it will take 24 hours to fully solidify. So this one we will unmold tomorrow. The other ones I may wait so we can unmold them all and discover them together tomorrow as well, which for me is 24 hours and for you, of course, is about 5 seconds. So we'll see you back. Start with our nice layered soap. So we have the honey on the bottom and the oatmeal on the top with that lovely lavender and the lavender buds in there too. Let's have a look. How beautiful is that? Just a stunning color, and you can see our layers. Fantastic. That turned out really great. So that's what those look like. Now, moving on, let me just get this right out of the way. We'll keep our one little fella there. Okay, so here is the bar we made. This is like the creamsicle bar that's all mixed together. Oh, you can see the oats on the bottom there. Now the soap is super soft, so we're going to be as gentle as possible when we unmold. So there you have it. You can see the oat bits there, and isn't that funny? Perfect. Okay. Turn it over, look at the top, and we'll take a slice to see what the slice looks like inside. I love, love, love this wavy cutter like I mentioned earlier. Just make sure we're straight up and down. And there you have it. There is our oatmeal and honey creamsicle soap. This is the lemon and sweet orange blend in here. Looks fabulous. You can see the little bit of oats on the bottom there. Super cool. And there you have it. I would say pretty successful experiment. We've got two beautiful and very different ways to make our oatmeal and honey blend soap. So there you have it. Thanks for joining me. If you liked this tutorial, this easy how-to for beginners, please subscribe and drop a like. And if you have any questions about this soap or soap making, please drop them in the comments below, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next time.